Tshepo, welcome to HR Hero Podcast.
Dumela, yes, it's good to be here. It sounds great, like a hero.
Yeah, HR Hero on call. Yeah.
No, it's good to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. So, who is Tshepo for everyone viewing today? How do you describe the person that you are? Who is Tshepo and who are you becoming?
No, I'm a communicator, passion and heart. Some people call me leadership. I don't know where that comes from.
They see.
I'm from Hammanskraal. There's still no water after almost 20 years.
And what are you doing about
drinkable water. Well, I congratulated the mayor of Tshwane the other day, last year, when I thought she's did a great job. That, when water came off the tap, but it didn't last. So just like the things, Action SA mayor, not the ANC as usual. But yeah, that's the reality of our politics in Hammanskraal. What am I doing about it? Like I say, I congratulated the mayor. I observe, and I also help my grandmother with a collection of still water from time to time. There's a truck that delivers water from time to time in Hammanskraal, and I make sure that somebody helps my grandmother so she doesn't have to physically carry these big buckets. It's heavy.
So you're not doing anything about it? Okay. You left it to the government.
There are organized teams in Hammanskraal. Hammanskraal is a very organized community. So there are people who are doing these things, but behind the scenes we do lobby to get change. And water is a serious problem across the countries, especially here in Gauteng.
Even here in Midrand, it's still an issue.
Who would have thought? I mean,
you're staying in Kyalami, you're staying in Waterfall. You have the same
and Hammanskraal, same WhatsApp group.
Yeah. Okay. So, yes, and who are you becoming?
Yeah, so I've spent a lot of time reflecting. The issue is about the second phase of my life and the extent to which I take the more than 20 or so experience both in the public and private sector.
Yeah.
And in my own self, and how do I contribute better? So because the past 20 years I've been taking in the form of remuneration, insights, learning from others. And now this phase is really about how do I contribute far more meaningfully beyond cash donations, beyond giving a speech here and there. It's about really giving back properly, and that's why I'm writing. I'm writing a book, hoping to launch before June.
What is it about?
And we'll talk about details, but it's really about the extent to which individuals and organizations can use their own names as reputation capital, in the sense that your name carries value beyond your own values and aspirations, but it carries some degree of equity. And how do you use that, your name, as an equity building exercise, especially in the era of digital and AI, where at any given point in time, computers and systems and algorithms can recreate your brand and tell a different story about you without your knowledge, without your approval. To be honest, there's F all you can do about it, because they will go and design. And so the opportunity is there for individuals and companies to proactively capitalize on who they are, but especially individuals and leaders. And I think that's the opportunity in the context of the book. That's what I'm planning to sort of give back in a series of different aspects, including the written word, the spoken word, but also doing.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah, and also doing. And at some point, I think in this 2 years that are coming, I would like to build a home for someone. See it from bottom up. Not for political purposes, because I'm not a politician, but to leave something behind, because every one of these small things contribute. And we can sit here a year later and look how far I am with the foundation for that home.
Yeah, we'll hold you accountable. I mean, you said it here. We'll hold you accountable for it. Are you going to use your own hands, or are you going to outsource the skills?
No, I'm not a builder, but I will bring soil.
Yeah.
I'll find a truck I can drive, so I'll use my own capabilities, and I can manage a project. So that's the extent to which I'll be involved. But no, definitely not a builder, and not about to be one. Construction is not my area of expertise or a passion.
Yeah.
It would have been nice, but no.
Yeah. So we'll invite you. We've established what you call HR Hero Foundation. It's a non-profit company, not organization yet, because we're still applying for status. But we delve deep into the high schools. That's where we do career coaching. We speak about hygiene and awareness, and hopefully the big brands will support us in terms of brushing teeth, deodorant, and all of those things. But most importantly, we also fund the top academic achievers, university fees, tuition fees. So that's where you can add value as well.
No, it sounds it sounds like a winner, and all of us are always trying to
give back,
contribute where we can.
Yeah.
And hopefully that contribution is meaningful, so that we take the horse to the river, but also teach it how to drink without being forced to do so.
Yeah.
So that the horse can also generate the water at some point, or go find water by itself. So we show you once, and we create structures so that you are able to go and create. And we know that, with as many poor families as we have, the civil society and organizations like yours, the foundations, need to go a little bit way beyond just giving things, but also imparting knowledge, so that people can go and do things for themselves and generate income, so that we don't have this permanent dependency on social welfare.
Yes.
Instead, that we cultivate a culture of small businesses and community partnerships that can help generate income.
Yeah, exactly that. So how it came about, it's imparting the knowledge, because career coaching and career guidance is exactly that for this high school in underprivileged schools. Yes. So how it came about, just quickly, we're saying it's not enough that we're talking about careers and exposing careers here on the podcast, but what are we doing about it? And that's why the foundation was then born. Right. So let's get to know you a bit more. Do you have a hero?
No, not really. But I do take inspiration from a few people. Back home, my grandmother, she's still alive. My grandmother was an educator for about 35 years, if not more.
Oh.
And she's
a legend.
Yes, and she's been consistent about it, with a high degree of humility, high discipline. But she could teach. She could teach anybody, including me. And I'm not easy to teach. I went to the same primary school where she was teaching, and so you could talk about that as a person that you could say is a hero. But I was also inspired for a long time, when I was young, much younger, by brand strategist Tshepo Matseba.
Oh, yeah.
Who served as my mentor for a very, very long time in my early career.
And shout out to Tshepo Matseba.
Yeah, so Tshepo is a mastermind when it comes to African narrative and brand positioning. So I watched him very, very closely. But and my idea was to take it a bit further than brand, to build and shape reputations in South Africa and beyond. And I think it went pretty much well. We still talk far more regularly. And I hope he contributes to this book that I'm working on.
Message for you there, Mr. Ikalafe.
Yes. I mean, there are other leaders that inspired me over the years. People like Professor Stella Nkomo, who was with the University of South Africa. We worked together there at the Graduate School of Business Leadership, a special talent and a special leader. I take inspiration from leaders like Mpumakwana, former chairperson of ESCOM. But also I met Mpo in the early days of marketing in my life, when he was leading the Marketing Federation of Southern Africa, when it was still there. So different pockets of people that I
Yeah.
draw inspiration for. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So I heard you earlier talking about money offline, of course. How you making money? What does money mean to you?
Yeah, so you the people who say money that you can go further when with money, they are actually right, because the world has been wired in such a way that we operate through a trade exchange of sorts, and that has to do with capital and financial resources. So money, to me, is simply the means to transact, because that's what the reality, and money is no longer this cash in your hand, but actually some kind of equity that you keep in a platform like a bank or a financial institution, either in the form of investment, and unless you can use that same cash or money to generate more money, then you might as well just not have it, because then you misunderstand the concept of money. So it has to be reinvested in the work you do, in property, in industries that you're interested in fintech, so that it can actually work further and be stretched.
So money means growth for you, from what I'm hearing.
Oh yes, absolutely, and it's. So I'm also shifting a little bit. I know people want to say, our colleague Julius Malema in South African politics often says, but you can't tell me not to wear this type of a brand and so on, because people always pick on his Gucci and all of that. I don't wear Gucci myself because it's not my type of passion. But I doubt that we can avoid brands completely, especially where we come from, where I come from. I can't avoid brands, but I've moved a little bit beyond brands. When I was young, I used to buy a car every second year, if not every year, and all sorts of cars, German cars.
German cars. I know you for German cars. Yeah.
And I still need a reliable car, so I still drive one or two German cars.
Oh wow.
Maybe three.
You can donate.
but they are low cost type of cars. I make sure that there's one that's reliable to get me from point A to B. But I'm no longer as invested. And one of those are the lessons I teach my sons. So I'm no longer as invested in the buying instant gratification and purchase as an instrument for satisfaction.
Yeah.
I purchase for functionality, and I purchase for cleanliness.
Yes.
So no, I'm not about to go around in a traditional gear, half naked. I'm Ndebele. I'm not about to go around naked, but I do recognize that my values go deeper than the materials that we were exposed to and that we are currently exposed to every day. Yes.
Thank you.
So I recognize brands, but it's no longer as much a priority.
Yeah.
Because this is the second part of my life. From time to time, you will see me doing things that some people will think Tshepo is now acting strange. But no, it's because I'm shifting towards a more soul-fulfilling activities, programs, engagement. But one must still remain clean.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. And you have grown. Okay. So we met many years ago.
Yes.
You were an executive at a financial institution.
Yes.
And you happen to be our boss. Our boss was this small, driving this big car. And how has it been?
Yeah, no,
you were marketing and communications.
Yes. So look, my journey kick-started early on in life. So I've always attempted to do communication and media work from an early age. So when I was studying at the University of South Africa, there was something called the Communication Students Association, which I was a co-founder.
Yeah.
And there we were doing practical work in journalism, film, and television advertising.
Yes.
And so early on, I worked for places like UNISA's Graduate School of Business Leadership. I worked for a film company. Very, very young. I think I was 20. And the days you are talking about in financial services, where it's now Momentum.
Yes.
I spent most of my career actually at Momentum and Discovery. Never defined myself, to quite honest, as a boss, because the roles often bumped into me than the other way around. So when I left Momentum,
when we talk about transformation, I think it started with you then in financial sector.
Yeah, I was on there at first Rand treated us really, really well. So I was part of what they call the First Rand and Momentum Junior Board, where you get an opportunity to actually mimic the real board.
Yes.
And that gave you access to networking opportunities within the First Rand group at the time. So it was an amazing journey. But I'll tell you about Discovery, which was very interesting. So I was sitting I left Momentum to go to some telecoms company, Huawei, the Chinese. And after work,
the Chinese?
Yes. So after work in Sentin, I'm sitting at a pub, having believe it or not, at that time there was a beer, Peroni Nastro Azzurro. And so I was having this thing with a colleague, and a former colleague from Momentum shows up, and he says, "Listen, but he's smoking, and he's got a beer in his hand." So I'm thinking, this guy is drunk. But he says, "Listen, we have an opportunity just for you. You know, let's talk tomorrow." The next day, I don't send the CV, and he says, "Emona, CV, Kalinel." So I sent this thing. The next minute, I met Discovery as head of marketing and distribution. That was that was a big role, a big team, far more diverse. There was a Chinese person in our team, and some of these people used to plot, on the weekends. They have a discussion on the sideline. White people do this very well. So they have a discussion here, make a decision about how they are going to tackle you on Monday with your boss. And then, but the Chinese lady used to brief me, there was an off-the-cuff chat about you, so prepare yourself. So I always went into rooms very prepared. I'm a politician, but the politician in the context of business. So I anticipate these things, that I don't walk into a room with absolute trust. I always think that someone is about to do something strange. And I plot and I play the game.
That has been my weakness for the longest time, because I go with full trust. But I've learned.
They'll finish you off.
I've learned.
They'll finish you off. You'll notice that in corporate, we can't be absolutely honest with our intentions. You can be honest about how you do business. But if you are always transparent about your intentions,
it's a problem.
You might actually bump into a lot of problems, because people walk into meetings and decision-making process with an intention in mind. And all I say is that live according to your values, but also live according to the company values. But in underlying that, have an understanding that this is a political landscape, and unless you have the political finesse, they'll work you out all the time.
All the time,
and you won't make it that long.
I hear you. I think it's a principle of life in general.
Absolutely.
All right. So you enjoyed yourself at Discovery, and now you're a big shot.
No, I'm not a big shot.
You are a big shot. You are a non-executive director?
Of course.
For what?
The IPM, yes.
Yes. Institute for People Management,
yes,
right?
Correct. That's correct.
You're now the MD of Reputation First, your own company.
Yes.
You do brand position, marketing, and strategies.
Yes, so more reputation advisory and management consulting. When we do marketing brand, it's just because we bump into the work. But it's not our passion.
I get it.
Really. When I do it, it's because, by the way, we can.
By chance,
we can, but
because
it's not,
you've got the skill.
But we prefer to advise countries, companies, and individuals. And for the past 5 years, we've advised South Africa. Through Brand South Africa, and by that, by extension, through the presidency. When President Cyril Ramaphosa was the chairperson of the African Union, we helped position his story. That's 2020, 2021, during COVID-19, that whole COVID-19 campaign to get people to behave properly. South Africa's nation branding proposition. So we've done work here in SA, on the continent, in China, in the UK. And that's the opportunities that South Africa gives us. You will think that there are big problems in this country, but actually the opportunities for exposure, when you are in the right room, supported by the right people, with the right ideas and right attitude, the opportunities here are endless. I wish I could say bloody endless, but they are endless. You just have to stay sober enough to see the opportunities and have the right energy to wake up and do the work. And people who are hungover won't see the opportunities because they are often sleeping while we are waking on Sunday morning.
Yes. So you are in the circle now.
No.
Inside.
No. Actually, the whole idea is for us to create our own circles. So we don't ask to be invited to the table. We create our own tables and we invite people on the table, and by extension, they invite others, and the table keeps growing and growing. I've learned the hard way that a lot of business that I've generated over time it's not from business from people I worked with at previous companies like Huawei, Momentum, Discovery, Liberty, Old Mutual. No, it's not those places. The businesses that we generate are from networks that we've built now. When we started in 2017, we went and connected afresh, because once you are no longer the head of marketing or communication for that large corporate, they move on very quickly to the next one.
Yes.
And your trick is to create a value proposition that is sustainable. Create a demand so that people can find your proposition attractive and invite you to some of their rooms. So no, there's not really a big cycle. But it's
normally not big. It's small.
Very, very small. But I do make a point to speak to key people in politics. Key people in the private sector. I always keep a CEO or two on my radar, very close to me. Key people in civil society. And I've got some friends that I've kept for a long time. And from time to time, they mention my name in the right room. And then I get a phone call. So,
The one person that I know that, you just testified when you spoke about the discovery opportunity.
Yes.
You hardly apply for any positions, or you never really apply for positions. They came looking for you, wasn't it?
Not really. So you are right. So when you do the work, the headhunters will find you. So from my early days at the University of South Africa's business school, the SPL, I was headhunted to Momentum, and from Momentum to MTN. I forget to talk about MTN.
MTN Group, yes.
And I spent about a year there, but that's because the role, I could see people doing great, amazing things next to me. But I was the role was not fulfilling. I was at MTN Group, and the action was happening at MTN SA next to me. And so it was very frustrating to see people working on their Iowa campaign while I'm busy dealing with corporate issues. And so I left MTN. And even leaving MTN, I was headhunted to a company those days called Mutual and Federal. Now it's like Old Mutual Insure. I stayed there for 30 days.
30 days?
Yeah, 30 days. And so there was a boss, a great boss at Momentum. Because I was from Momentum to there then. So
you had John
two great people, three. Kobe Siwarachen, Johan Jooste and John Mill, but it was Johan Jooste who called me and says, "Listen, let's have coffee." And we met somewhere in Centurion, and he says to me, "Listen, this thing of yours living, I hear you are not happy there. Why don't we have a conversation?" And we had a conversation. I went back to Momentum to go lead the team where I was communication manager.
Yes.
That's when I came back. I think that's when we probably met. I came back as head of marketing and communication in that division. And so all of it, and then from Momentum to Huawei, it was also that. From Huawei, it was the bar situation I spoke about. So it's all about
that light.
It's all about building the network, but also positioning yourself in person. So I spoke at a lot of events when I was young, marketing and communication events, and those positioned me because in the room there'll be a head of this and a head of that, head of corporate affairs. I spoke in Botswana, for example. I spoke in Zimbabwe. And then my role, I think, as early as I think I was 23 or so, I was the president of PRISA at some point, at a very, very young age. And all those networks give you some exposure. The Public Relations Institute of Southern Africa.
Institute of South Africa.
Yes, and there we sort of a professional body for professionals in the communication and PR landscape. And all those things together, plus your online presence, give you an opportunity for exposure. And now I've extended that product to media.
Yes, so, let's talk about it. So now you're a media analyst. This phase is very common. You've seen it on TV. Now I'm sitting with the person that's on TV.
Look,
you're a media analyst. You talk about business. You talk about economics. You talk about politics here and there.
So it's about reputation management in the context of country, especially nation branding, country branding, but also the reputation of companies. Like when entities do make mistakes, someone made their employees do gardening and landscaping at one of the retailers. Restaurants.
That's what the people.
The people at what brands. I think they say they are famous brands. So there are people there. People do gardening. We talk about that and how it affects the image and the brand, but also how it affects the individuals who were subjected to the work. Because it's not about the gardening. If you use tears specifically as an example, because we can say it's in the public, it's not about gardening. Gardening is not a problem. There are people who are hired to do that, who are passionate about it, landscaping. But you can't take a chef out of the kitchen and say, go clean the garden because the service provider was not available. So we look at that kind of work and we say, how should a brand have behaved? We look at race relations, where companies fail badly and dismally, and governments sometimes fail because they forget that what they say and do all the time is on record. We advise CEOs, but we also advise individuals who are doing great, but also who have done some terrible mistakes. And importantly, the clever ones are the ones who ask for advice proactively before things go wrong. So that we can anticipate issues and handle them in that fashion. Remember, digital does not forget. So when you're sitting at a pub or at church or a bar having a great glass of wine and chatting, you must remember that you are on record all the time. Somebody might be capturing audio or video or all of the above. And so how you conduct yourself has to be always measured and calculated deliberately to avoid a situation where you're caught with your tail between your legs, and that can be very expensive, and it has become extremely expensive for many people. I say I've got the philosophy: if you never share anything online or say anything in public that you wouldn't say to your mother, then you're safe. Unless if you've got a great mother, which is also possible.
Thank you for that. So you've done quite a lot. You are very inspirational person. I mean, you're forward thinking, forward looking, and I like the fact that you also adding value or wanting to add value in societal, in the community. What's next for you?
So there.
You spoke about the book that's coming. Over and above that, and wanting to contribute to the society. What's next for you?
So the next phase of work we're in the era of collaboration. So we've set up, for example, a platform called RepuCore. And there we want to just put a lot of digital assets and digital assets that can be used by companies to transact in the context of AI, so that you build the future and future-proof yourself for the future. That's the next phase of work that we want to do. And we are collaborating with people in Hong Kong, in China, in the UK, in the US, try and shape this thing so that it can be deployed anywhere in the world.
Yes.
There's a small team that's helping me to figure it out. I'm excited about it, and so that's an important journey to understand this digital world and not be scared that there's AI. What do we do now? And I think it's a scary exercise, especially for people my age. They look at it and they don't know what to do, and many just understand perhaps ChatGPT and Google Gemini. And copy and paste from there, sometimes embarrass themselves in the process because they don't understand how the instruments work. We want to help create a community that can actually create these assets, that can create and code AI, so that what it produces is not a customized, global, generic stuff, that is customized for the region within which we operate, and to interpret it correctly. You know, we want to get better at this thing before it gets ahead of us, and so that's a very, very important space. I think we'd like to see the progress of the re-engineering of the Institute of People Management, IPM, where I'm non-executive director, and I think there's opportunity to continue to contribute in that space. We are partnering and collaborating with the Ebony+Ivory team, advertising and communication, and they really, with Nombini Mehlomakulu and Paul Middleton, there are opportunities for venture capital projects, especially in East Africa, that we are discussing and we've discussed consistently. We keep seeking opportunities for collaboration. So there's a lot, but it simply says through the two entities, Reputation First continues to advise companies and organizations, and Repucure to deploy the AI proposition, and through the collaboration with Ebony+Ivory, deliver the collaboration in the continent. And in that space, I believe we will be onto something special, so that this next phase of my journey, my personal journey and my leadership journey, can be meaningful and just go beyond public speaking and public engagement. And many a times I share ideas and wisdom without billing, even to people that we should be billing. Yes.
Thank you for this conversation. So, Tshepo, in just closing in 1 minute, what did you study and what advice do you want to give to the students and the young professionals wanting to step into the marketplace and wanting to grow and level up in their positions?
Yeah, so I'm not an academic, but I've studied communication science at the University of South Africa, and I've done management development programs there as well, and other management development programs at Wits Business School, University of Stellenbosch, so digital marketing and management development programs there, or executive development programs there. I've studied at GIPS, so I've had an opportunity. I would say to any professional is that if you want to be a medical practitioner, study the art of medicine, but also support yourself with management and business management competencies, so that tomorrow, if you set up a general practitioner, you have the business and the expertise together. You can run your business, you can check the financials, you can understand financial ratios, you can look at the balance sheet and understand what it means and interpret it appropriately. You can interpret financial statements, and so that's what I would say. I would say study what is your passion. If you want to be a chief HR officer, go and invest in HR programs and a degree and postgrad, but also do management programs, business development programs, business management programs, because the two at a business school. Because when you have those two things together, you'll become a maestro. I know some people think an MBA is overrated, but if I have time and resources, I would actually go and invest in an MBA. I think there's a degree but if you do a postgraduate diploma in management and you compare it to with an MBA, you'll see that the difference is only the research component. The two are exactly the same. The modules, the books that you study are exactly the same. It's just the research component that's more stretching on the MBA. And so if you do one of those, you should be okay to handle some basics. You don't have to be an academic, so you don't have to be a master, but at least acquaint yourself. And then I think when you are young, while you still can, the energy is there, read as much as you can. Do the less scrolling on social media, and do engage with the text, written text. It might help to shape views and shape the world. And do good. You go further with a smile than when you are angry all the time. And who was that? Alris? What does he say? He says, if you can be first, and if you can't be first, create a new category in which you can be first. That's it.
Wow. Thank you for joining the conversation.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.